Hello everyone. So some people wanted to see my project that I've been working on. So I wanted to just go ahead and go through this a little bit. It might be a little bit laggy, I'm not too sure, but we'll see how this goes anyway. So the idea is I've been working on this project for a while. I'll just show you around the test level here. This was made up from I think it was a horror game kit. I made it, well, that I got ages ago. I wouldn't say I modified it quite a lot. It was one that I got off Unreal Engine Marketplace, and what I did was I took the things that worked, made them a little bit better, and implemented a lot more optional mechanics. So the idea is this is based, I think I might have mentioned this before, but this is based on a job that I once did for like a company, and the company in particular was doing in-house security for a very large facility, of which I'm trying to recreate so I can get the feeling of it. I have like a load of source material that I'll probably show off at another time. But the idea is that you play a in-house security guard that doesn't really have any license for being a security guard, so instead you're more just like a janitor. The idea is that you don't have the qualifications, so you're more or less just there as a sort of visual deterrent, and if anything happens then you have to run because you can't protect yourself. It's based in the UK, so it means that we don't have any guns or anything, and we have to use our wits and smarts to understand where to go and to avoid enemies and things. So we've got different things that I've been messing around with here. This is all my file down below with all my content in, but what I've tried doing is I've recently been looking at Bendy and the Ink Machine, because Bendy and the Ink Machine has some really cool mechanics and features that I wanted to implement that are very simple, and I needed to fix my own stuff that I'd made. So I'm just going to go through with you here on the timeline. The idea is that you, being like a stand-in security guard, have the camera system that you can use around the facility to find out where the AI is walking around. The AI currently spawns here at the moment, but the idea is that using some of the low poly assets that are available, I'm currently populating the level and trying to make it look like a very simple art style for the moment, because I don't want to spend forever doing assets as well. But the idea is we've got cameras that we can use to look around the facility and avoid the character. We've got a laser, well, yeah, a laser trip sensor that sets off a audio sensor in the security booth that we have over here, and the idea is that when you hear that, you can then check the cameras to find out where the guy actually is. It just beeps whenever he trips, or whenever they trip a motion sensor. We've got a light switch in here as well, because I wanted to do something with turning lights on and off, so I might try and implement that into the AIs at some point, so that when the AI notices a light is off, it goes to investigate it. But yeah, here we've got the build history. So version 0.1 was made from the horror template on the Unreal Engine back in, I think that was March? And the 8th of March, and then I've slowly just implemented things. Implemented a menu system, some physics with the grab ability, which I ended up fixing later on down the line. The motion sensors, working flashlight, because we've got a flashlight as well that can be topped up using these batteries here at the moment. Those are very, very rough batteries. Then we've got progression over here where we have key items that we can pick up which trigger different events, and the idea is that you, during the course of the game, don't just play through and go from A to B. You actively have to look for items to get out of the level. The idea is that there's always something wrong, or there's some objective that you have to fulfill. Like, for instance, on one night all the power might go out, and thus you only have a backup generator that lasts so long. So the idea is you have to keep constantly putting power into the backup generator to keep the lights on and the doors locked, because the doors are magnetic. And the idea is that when the power goes off, the AI then has access to anywhere it wants, basically. That was just an example of something that I thought would be really cool, because the idea is you don't want the AI to get into the security office where you are. But currently he's very smart and can just wreck me. I tried adding a pixel post-process shader to make it look like an older game, but I didn't manage to do that, or rather I did, but I don't like the look of it at the moment. We got some fade-in letterboxes and other things that I took over from, I think it was Halo. I got inspiration from that. So we've got like a little bit of intro text for the level and a fade-in letterbox, very similar to Halo 1, where you have each chapter fades in and it tells you what's going on in the chapter, or gives it a chapter name. I just thought that was pretty cool to start off a level, although I might end up taking that out at some point. We got some key items like the flashlight component. We've got a keycard system set up, and then we've got all the characters here, of which some of these are going to be used later on. I just need to work out how I'm going to implement those, because we've got the player character over here, and then the rest of staff. The guy here is the bad guy. He is randomly generated, so he'll have a different skin each time. Like most of these characters, you can just drag them out and they'll have a different skin on them or texture. That guy's the boss, so we only see him in a cutscene. That guy's his secretary, so we only see her like every so often. That's the guy that works with you on shift, because there's always 2 people on shift at minimum. And then we've got the cops, who eventually will come. We also have a checkpoint zone, or a checkpoint system, that is currently triggered by anything, so I've got to be careful with that. But we go into certain areas and a checkpoint can set off, and if we don't get out in a certain time or get to the other checkpoint to stop everything, then what ends up happening is it triggers a game over. I've been thinking of different ways to trigger game overs, and then we added the tweaks of the flashlights, some in-game text that is triggered via trigger volumes. Then we've got game over volumes and things which are in the next room, which I'll show off in a bit. We've got motion blur, and then we added some new characters. Like I said, all of this is stuff that I've added over time, as you can see here. So I've just gone through and been patching things and then trying to mix things up. And here we finally got the fixed mechanics for certain things that I've been working on today and over the past couple of days. So I'm going to have to get myself a drink in a bit. My voice is going here. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom around here. The idea is that there are a couple of key cards lying around. We've got one over here. We've got... that one is a trap room. We've got nothing in there. I think it was in this room at the end. I can't remember. I think it's just one key card. This is a scenery room that I'm using to pick out different scenery from the low poly pack that I got, just to be able to turn around later and be like, oh, okay, these are the items I'm going to use in game. But yeah, we need to get the 2 key cards and then leave via this door. And if we go to over here, when we hit this trigger volume here that I've just selected with the 2 key cards, then we can get out of the area. If we don't have the 2 key cards, we get told to go back and collect them. So we can't actually escape here until we get those 2 items. So let's show you this all in play now and see what you think. Oh yeah, also when we start here first, there was a system that I had help with where when you press play, occasionally things will be totally random here. So like certain items will spawn or won't spawn depending, so each time it will be visually different. So like the first time you may have seen, or you can go back, we had no computers spawn here. Now we have 2 computers spawning, so we can look at those and see how the environment's populated. And you might be able to hear that. I'm not quite sure whether I've got the settings put on, but the AI is currently marching around and setting off the triggers, and every time it triggers something it makes a small beep sound. So as you can see, I've added a lot of notes around here. We're going to pick up the flashlight batteries as our character. We're going to pick up the flashlight as well. Oh neat, a flashlight. Adds trigger volume, bit of text there, so we pick up this. Ah, come on. There we go. I still need to target that a little bit better so that we can pick that up a little bit easier. We've got the keycard now. When we get the keycard and go into this area, this triggers a cutscene, or rather it should do. If it doesn't matter. I need to fix that at some point. But we've got the ability to knock things over, to pick things up. We can put the can in the box. At this point, it doesn't really move around too much, we can knock it around if we want. We can hit the cam while it's on the floor. The AI also listens for characters' footsteps, which I'm currently making at the moment. And this is a problem. This is a checkpoint system that I still have set up, which I really need to kind of remove from this area, but every time you knock something into it, it sets off. The idea is that it's set with the red light, the yellow light and the green light, and as you can see there's a load of numbers scrolling down the screen. When you go into the next area, what it's supposed to do is trigger again so that you have more time. The idea is that it forces the player to go in a direction that you want within a certain time limit without turning around and being able to just abuse wherever they want to go. Because, like, for instance, I don't want to have many invisible walls, but I want the game to seem like it's got invisible walls. So the idea is to put those in there and then say to the player in this sense, or in this case, when this is triggered, go to the next area and go around the facility and say a certain pattern. Once you move from one point to the other, it will then progress and keep progressing until you get to the final checkpoint, and then it will check and say, okay, you've gone through it, you don't need to do this again. And that's just an idea that I had for making the players do patrols of the facility to get them out and about, because you can't stay in all the time. It's a very large facility. As you can see at the top right hand, we've got a objective at the moment, which we can toggle on and off by pressing tab. And also, if we press, I think it was C here? Yeah, C turns off the little crosshair in the center of the screen, which at the moment is a little dot. I tried to make it as least intrusive as possible. Also, because Eternal says, what's this? Hello Eternal, this is my video game that I've been working on. It's just a very rough build at the moment. I'm just showing off all the mechanics because people were interested. So, as for the door is locked until we get the keycard off the desk here. But because we've got the keycard now, I really should have shown you this from the very beginning. I'll show you again, but because we've got the keycard here, we can just walk up to it and press E, and the door slides open and then closed again. The idea is you can only open that with the keycard. I'll click play again in a bit and show you that you can't actually get through there until you've picked it up. When we go up here, we've got a little set of notes that are indicated via these two pink lights, so I know where they are. These are very similar to like with Bendy and the Ink Machine, where you'll go in an area and it'll trigger a set of dialogue and an audio cue for it. So you might walk into an area and the text will say something like, huh, it's a lot of ink. And it'll come up with the audio playing that to give you a prompt or a hint or whatever. I've got those that I implemented quite a while ago before Bendy was out. That just says, what's up here? It's got some debug in the top left to show that it's actually working. I think. And there we go. This, where that says this is a duplicate, that was done to be able to make sure I could make multiple of them. The idea is that I can just make one asset and then tweak the text every single time so that it's different. So I'm not like making multiple of the same asset. And of course, when we go up here, this cutscene is activated when going into the trigger volume. So we've got a cutscene trigger over here. Gives us a nice little pan round. If we press F as well, we've got a flashlight. In the top left, we've got a countdown timer, which we can tweak. When it counts down, if I don't have any battery, the flashlight turns off. The idea is you're constantly going to be looking for battery power. I can't actually turn that back on now. I'm pressing F like crazy and it's not turning on. So because there are no other batteries in the level at the moment, when those three are gone, I don't get a flashlight anymore. Let's see here. We got the camera system that I was on about over here at the moment. Oh god, the AI's see me, I think. Yep, there he is. He's very, very clever. See, what he did was he heard me walking around, and the red flashlight is just on the front of him, a bit like I put the flashlight on the front of me. But he's currently checking around the area very carefully just to see where I am. I think he might have got stuck on the door. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look. I need to see if there's any way of upgrading the AI's navigation. Yeah, you can see up there on the camera there, he's stuck in the doorway, just constantly camping. Whenever he runs into you, it's game over immediately. These are all the other areas of the facility. I think, has he moved on? Oh, I see, he's behind the door. You can see him behind the door there, so if we... Ooh, can we just... That debug string that's coming up in the top left, that is just to... trigger when I go out so that it knows that I'm outside. So here we go, I got a game over there. We've got the grab and throw object. We can grab items, or we can throw them. I can give them different physics based on how much they weigh. That at the moment, because it's a pre-made asset that I didn't make, you can't drop it into there, but I would like to be able to. We can also throw the can as well if we want. Like I said before, there's a locked door here that we can't get through. I'm pressing E here. Can't get through it until we got that key card. And of course the randomizer helps by making sure that we've got like different items each time. So now we've only got one computer. Before we had two, and before that we had none. So that's pretty cool. Move that out of the way. Pick up my flashlight. Still a bit awkward to pick that up from that distance. I might have to tweak the pickup box there. Or rather the trigger volume for that. Pick up the flashlight. Pick up these. And just show off the light switch, because I didn't actually show that off before because the AI wrecked me. So the light switch, press E next to it and it's supposed to turn on. There we go. So you can turn all the lights on and off in different rooms here. So as you can see, all these lights turn on and off. The idea is that I want the AI to respond to that eventually, so that if it sees lights on in an area, it'll go to the nearest light switch and turn off that light switch. I've got to figure out how it's, because like I said, I'm modifying a lot of this originally from the horror template back in March. So I've got to go into it, figure out how it's hearing sounds and other things, and then after that apply sounds and apply like different logic to it, so it'll see lights and other things and be like, wait a minute, I'm curious. I'll show off the coding in a little bit and show you what it's like, because the coding isn't as complicated as it sounds. It's just a case of knowing what nodes work with each other, because it's all visual instead of like C+ or whatever. Also over here, a nice little thing that I've done is add physics to that, so you can knock over the water butler or the water container. The problem is the AI has seen that. Where is he? I can have like rotating cameras, I can have static cameras, and AI, man, I've had it before where I've been looking at the camera here and he's ran straight into the security office and got me, because like my dad tested this at one point when it was earlier on in development, and the AI just ran through and wrecked him. So let's run out here and see where the AI is. Here we go. So he's pretty fast at the moment. The idea is I want to include a stamina feature so that you can't just always run, because that would be unfair on the AI. As you can see, he's keeping up pretty well though. So we'll try and... Can I get through this door? No, I can't. Don't know why. I swear I could open that door before. Oh, nope, nope. Oh, there we go. So got to retry again. So what we'll do this time is, because we need the key cards but we don't need the flashlight, I'll just pick up the key card. Right. Oh, he heard me picking up the key card. It's because I was sprinting. Right, so let's play again. Errors in the editor. I do not see any errors. We'll have a look at that later. Right, so because he can hear me sprinting, what I'm going to try doing is try just walking and see what happens. I've got to wait till he's down the other end of the level, which is the top right hand screen here. As you can see, he's getting further and further away. You can actually see a far distance as well, which is pretty crazy. So he's... Oh, God, he's turned back now. The idea is you have to wait for his pattern, because he does walk further up. Hello to everyone that's coming in and is only just tuning in. I'm currently playing a video game, an early progress work in progress video game that I've been making for a couple of months. So I'm just trying to get past this bad guy here. The idea is that the bad guys in this are just travelers or people that just want to break into places and take whatever's left in them. The idea is they're as curious as you are when you're walking around the facility of what's around and what they can pick up and just steal. The idea is that they will always try and intimidate the staff. So if they catch you, that's it. That's game over, because they'll try and intimidate you, and the idea is that they beat you up if they catch you, so that you won't tell anyone. In that room down here on the bottom right, the pink doorway indicates that I should not be in a certain area, so if I go down there now, hopefully I'll be able to go there. The idea here... Oh, God. Oh, crap. I think I'm having problems interacting with doors and things. I think it might be because I've been messing around with things recently in terms of interaction. Is he still... Oh, God damn it. See what I mean about the AI? AI is just brutal, man. It's like later on in the game, I want it's the AI will spawn in based on random things. God damn. Seriously, leave me alone, dude. The idea is that I want him to spawn in if you collect like certain items and other things, so random things will set him off, and the idea is that it's encouraging you to... I don't know why I can't open the doors. The idea that is the game encourages you to actively go around and search for items, and by picking up items and interacting with them and messing around like this, it could possibly set off an enemy spawn, which will then make things awkward for you. So the idea is that it's based on the player's curiosity as to how the game progresses and how hard it is. That's the idea I had at the moment. I'm trying to get this door to open. Normally, it opens just fine for me, but it's being a bit of a pain in the butt at the moment and just won't open. In previous builds, this has been fine. Don't know why that is a problem when the other one wasn't. Then again, these are pre-made as part of the horror pack that I have, so it's possible that this is all messed up at the moment. I'm going to have to potentially check to see why that is an issue. And what the hell? Node controls access non trying to read property. I thought I'd fixed this before. Because before I had a... I get to show you this now. Yeah, there we go. Do once. So the idea with this is the code for the controls area. The idea is that you enter a trigger volume. This is where I have to explain things. So I'm gonna throw that to the side for the moment. The idea is here, like with the light switch, we've got a trigger volume. So when you're inside this like red cube, you can then use the light switch. The idea is, like with that, when you're inside this orange cube over here near this blue light, as close to the wall as possible, you can then access the controls menu, which tells you exactly what you need to press, just for the moment anyway. And this is a problem because I have a widget reference that tells me that when I leave the area, I can like only do this once, and then it feeds back into itself, and then it won't bugger things up again. But for some strange reason, it's not doing it. Maybe I have to cast it third person again. I'm not quite sure, because it should just be a case of removing from parent. Klaxy says, what are you making? I've been showing everybody the game that I'm making recently, but I'm trying to remove the controls widget here. Like, I'll show you how it works and then the error that I'm getting, because I swear I fixed this before. So the idea is that you go here, you go over to this blue light, and you click E. When you click E, you can see the... no, crap. You can see the controls, and then you back away, and as soon as you get out the trigger volume, it goes off. That's fine, right? The problem is, it says that there is a problem with the system setup, but it's not working. Remove a widget, isn't that just destroy a widget node? Yeah, it's basically what you do is you do remove from parent, but what I've got is, I think it might be coming from that instead, because the idea is that you have a do once so it doesn't fire over and over and over again, so it's not giving you that problem, and then you reference the widget through here, so the widget that I've got comes out into that value there and is added to the viewport. Klaxy says, let me see it. Yeah, it's cool, dude. While you're checking that, I'm going to check why these doors aren't working, because these doors should work, and I want to know why my third person character is not accessing it, because, like, here's the third person character that I've got at the moment. There are a ton of things in here. It's possible that I have accidentally gotten rid of something, because a lot of this was to do with the prototype. I might actually have to look at fixing this, or just installing it again and then seeing what happens. Because the interaction section here is fine. Interact with objects, just pressing E and then have the interaction capsule work. The interaction capsule itself is it's the size of the head. That should be fine. I don't know why that's not working. It's strange. Let's try making that a little bit bigger. Can I just scale that up to about 6? Actually, no, maybe not 6 for that. Let's do 4. Maybe because it's using the it's using the interaction capsule. I had a tongue twister there. Maybe it's that's the problem. The AI is probably going to hear me here. Yeah, he has. God damn. He's very, very smart. That's another thing that I need to do as well, is show off the fact that we have a tab menu. The tab menu, or rather the tab feature, is for the objectives, which do change when you go into different areas. So I can change the objectives on and off in the top right there. And if I press P, it pauses, and then I can go back to the main menu, which is the start of the game, or I can quit out. So that stuff's easy. So yeah, I've been working on this for ages. Here's all the stuff that was default. There's the modified horror template stuff, mouse input, jump, run. I need to make sure that the run is, or the stamina system is better, so that I can actually like slow down later on. Because that's another thing that I need to update, is the stamina system. And then over here, this huge section, the custom interactions and things, is the stuff that I've added. So we've got the pause menu, we've got the flashlight system, the flashlight on and off system, the mouse zoom, because that's one thing I forgot to show, is the whole idea that you can zoom in and out, a bit like Half-Life 2. So the idea is when you middle mouse button, you can zoom in and out. Not smooth, it just goes straight to it, but the idea is that I want to try and make like a binoculars thing or something going on, or maybe just have it as a focus mode so that the player can just zoom in. But this is just for trying to see the AI in the dark at range. And then we've got the physics gravity gun, which I did recently, which you've seen before, which is me just picking up items and throwing them. That took a while to do, especially because people have made like gravity guns that are in the marketplace, but they're not, well, for one, they cost money, and for the second note, it's one of those things where I'd have to then go in and learn how they work and modify them afterwards. So I just want to know why the interaction capsule is not working here, because the interaction should work. If I go into interact with the, nope. Player leave, player enter radius, that's fine. So what the hell is going on with that blueprint for the door that's making it not work? Oh, that was an objective trigger, sorry. That one is just default debug text that can then be changed later on. That one is different. Why is everything suddenly crashed all of a sudden? Oh, there we go. It's probably saving. There's the door. So if I enter the door here, right. Can open or close door, new widget state. Player cannot use the door while this timeline is played. Right. This is all stuff that is completely new, and I need to look into this because doors have sounds and everything. Doors make noises. It's going to be awkward here. Klaxy, are you sending me stuff in the background? Because if you are, I'm going to have to look at that later. Can use door, I think, might be referenced in the third person actor over here. Yeah, I'll check that out. If it's what I think it is. I'm just seeing because I swear. There we go. Can AI see me? That one's fine. I guess where I've not deleted anything that says like can use door or whatever. Interaction distance, that is fine because that was for the gravity gun. Young says, you making a game? Yes, I am. This is just a preview of it because John and a couple of other people wanted to see it. There's the battery power, the player objectives. I'm wondering what I've changed today that's messed up the doors. Interesting. Because that was a really base thing that worked until today. What I'll do, Claxy, is I'll fix that later on. But yeah, just for now, what kind of game this will be? Bit like Bendy and the Ink Machine, but what I need to do here is delete these doors for the moment because these doors don't work for the moment. Need to go in there as well because that has a triggerable cutscene in it. And then let's remove that door for the moment. This is awkward. Like that AI is going to be able to see in through here now, but we'll just risk it. Yep, there he is. There he is. Let's run away. Oh, nope. Can we just outsmart him here? Oh, I don't have the key card. So the lasers, they aren't actually lasers. Those are camera vision cones. That on the floor, there's a motion sensor. Yeah, an audio motion sensor. Gotta get away from this guy now, because if he runs into me, it's game over. Basically like Bendy and Alien Isolation. Yeah, the thing is, like, I got this, the base framework for it to work off before Bendy was out. At least I think I did, so some of this stuff I implemented and then Bendy's implemented it as well, but there we go. So that's a cutscene that you can trigger going into that area, but I think he's going to catch me now. Oh, yep. Easter egg butt walls. Oh, I wish. So, what we need to do here is we need to go back into the security office here, pick up the flashlight, pick up that. Oh, no. Oh, God damn it. That's because when you're in there and you have a key card here, it triggers a cutscene. There he is. Ah, I've triggered it again. Can I try and... There we go. I need to stop triggering this. This is because I've got it in a test room. Nope. I put the box through his head there. A tiny plushie of Waddles would be cool. Let's throw a box at him. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Boop. I really wish he would go away so I can actually pick up this keycard in peace. Ooh, there we go. Oh, no, I've triggered my my checkpoint system there. Not good, not good. And now he's triggered it. Son of a bitch. If I don't cut off that checkpoint system, then what will happen is he'll set... Oh, is he setting it off again? Oh, you son of a bitch. Every time he sets that checkpoint system off, it counts down. And when it counts down, if I don't get in the green area at the end, then it gives me a game over. Yep, there we go. It game overed me because that's set up for doing walkarounds. What I'll do is I'll take those out for the moment as well. Or I'll just raise them up. The idea is that because this is based on a previous job that I did in security, or basically a security job, as close to security as you can get without any training, the idea is that you can't actively go into combat versus the intruders. You have to avoid them. I'm trying to select this goddamn trigger volume here. There we go. So you just raise this here for a moment. Now if I go into here, I know the lighting says it needs to be rebuilt, but yeah, I shouldn't be able to trigger this. There we go. So now, should be able to go here and pick up what we need. We'll knock over the water there as well. Ooh. Can we be friends? Let's just put that in front of him. So if we go in here now, that'll trigger something which I'll show you later on because he's being a pain in the butt. The idea is we just have to get these 2 key cards here. If we don't get the 2 key cards, we can't get out. He is really being a pain in the butt. I could do the Metal Gear Solid thing and hide in there, but it depends whether I can interact with it or not. He is being really stupid at the moment. He is literally just standing right up against that and trying to find out where I am, where I'm doing the age-old tactic of, if you can't see me, I can't see you. Or rather the other way around. If I can't see you, you can't see me. I wonder if I opened that door on him. No, it didn't work. Let's go. He is really nasty. Oh, jeez, he's right behind me as well. The funny thing is, if you were in the security office on the left there, you'd actually be able to see him, like, chasing after me. Here now. If he crosses that, it's going to make a sound. There he is, in the distance there. He's walking back for some reason. I don't know why these doors aren't working. Ah! I'm going to go back here and just see if I can work with one of these other areas, because I know there's a cutscene over there. Let's see if I can... See, I can trigger that. Oh. I can trigger that when I'm not colliding with it. Come on. Gimme. Trying to make this interactive is a bit of a pain in the ass. I think it's like I've got a certain range to which I can open it. Here's where I try and open it now and he comes over. Yeah, that's not working. I'm going to have to work on that. Ooh, he can see me from there. I made his range on his view very, very long. So we go here now. As you can see, the objectives have changed. Maybe it only triggers when you collide with it. No, no, no. It has to be pressed. It's like, was it Amnesia? It was Amnesia or another game similar where you had to press stuff to collect things, and that's one thing that I wanted to do with this was press to collect, so it made it feel a little bit more realistic. But as you can see, the objective has updated. And now if we head over here, it should fade out to black and say, "Congratulations, you evaded danger and made it safely to the exit." So that's just for the demo area. Right. It's giving me tons of errors now for like no reason here. Oh, for the hide place stuff. So yeah, the hiding places are buggered because of me doing something to it, and the notes I need to fix, with, hopefully with Klaxy's help. But yeah, the idea is like if we go in here now, this triggers when you get near it and says, "I don't think we're supposed to be here." And if we play and go in there, come on AI, come on. If we go in there, what actually happens is it gives me a game over. The idea is I'm supposed to be giving people multiple ways of getting a game over. I love the way he was stuck there for a moment. But the idea is you get multiple ways of getting game overs, and you're not quite sure of what will or won't set it off. He's just disappeared somewhere there. Interesting. I think I've lost him. But in here, we're not meant to be over here. The idea is when we go here, it says, "I don't think we're meant to be in here." And as you can see, it's fired the timer. And as the timer counts down, fades to black and says game over. So we got lost. Now the idea is that that's set up so it's like an invisible wall place, or it's supposed to make it seem as though you can go in there so you can have a look around, but then because you weren't meant to be in there, then it gives you a game over. This is because at the beginning of the game, I want to go from the very beginning where you get like an interview for this job. You go to the interview, you look around a little bit, and you get familiar with the place, and then the first night is where things kick off. But for the interview, I wanted to make it so there's no invisible walls. So the idea is you turn up and you can go wherever you want around near the interview, but if you walk away from it, the idea is that because it doesn't continue the game, it just says you walked away from the interview and didn't get a job, game over. You know, so that's just one way of making it a little bit cooler without putting invisible walls up, so the player thinks there's no invisible walls. Oh god, Moody, says Clarksy. Wait, what? I can hear Discord going off here. But yeah, I don't think anybody's seen that. There's the random points, the RNG points for the spawns, for the computers that I'm currently spawning, so I can make anything randomized here. I don't think the water cooler is randomized. See, I can't look at it at the moment. It's gonna appear on my full desktop in the stream, so I've got to kind of wait till later on. What I'll do is when I finish the stream, I'll have a look at stuff. I'm honestly wondering why some of this isn't triggering. I'll fix it later. I'll probably just install another build again and work back from it and see what I've bugged up here. But yeah, there's the audio sensors. The audio sensors are pretty easy in terms of how they work. Like, where is it? The level blueprints. Open level blueprint. So this is the level blueprints at the moment. And here's the custom countdown timers we've got that will then trigger off game over events. This is all stuff that I worked on like once for, I think it was game over for the end of the game, and then just applied it to everything else. The game over trigger volume, we got the Halo style nameplate which comes up there, so that's pretty cool. Remove from parent. See, I've done remove from parent there and it works, so I might have to have a look at that. Maybe because it had a delay in it, I'm not sure. Because it only fires once. Interesting. Might also be because I've got it done by the character. Maybe if I put everything inside the level instead of in its own separate things, maybe that would work. But yeah, we've got the special test for when the keycard is used and other things. The motion sensors, which are over here, where on triggering it casts to different characters, plays the sound effect, and then fades out to avoid repeat. That's pretty cool. Don't say networking. Every programmer here would run for the hills that mention it. Oh yeah, because of trying to get things to work over a network. Ugh. And then here we've got the keycard door, so the keycard door doesn't work if there's no correct input. But yeah, this is a lot of stuff that I've been working on, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there with getting it all sorted and having a good laugh. So it's gonna be the way I'd sort of describe it is it's like a collectathon / odd jobs kind of thing, where you're constantly walking around and trying to complete the objectives, whether it be keep the lights on or go fill up the fuel tanks for, say, like the extra generator, go take readings for the electricity because the electricity bills are running low, things like that. The idea is that it forces you to move around the building or the facility and do different things, and that risks you coming in contact with the AI. It also allows you to go and mess around with things, so for instance interacting with objects, which will set off different random events like enemy spawns and other things. So it'll constantly change depending on what you interact with, and it'll become more difficult or easier depending on what you do in the level, so no one playthrough will be exactly the same. And also with the different spawning objects in the level, nothing will always look the same either. So I just like the idea of it because it's as dynamic as I can get it at the moment with this very base modified template. But I do enjoy working on this. It's just a case of getting it sorted. I mean, like, I'm working on, what was it, the other map that I had here. I'm trying to figure out where it is. Those are props and assets. So yeah, I won't save that for the moment, but I think this one is the one that I was using to block out one of the buildings for the game, because I've got like a bunch of blocking assets that allow you to easily do stuff, like easily block levels out. So at the moment this is the office, or rather this is the main office complex. The rest of the stuff over here is just like base stuff that the pack came with, the props pack, but the idea is this is like really basic sort of blocking out. The idea is that the security room will be here, and then through here is the kitchen area, and then we go through here and out into the double hallway which leads all the way down the other end of the facility. Through here we've got an area which is where the dog lives, and then in here we've got like a computer room, and through here we got a elevator with a staircase as well, so we go up here if we want to get to the next floors. Out here is where we go into the courtyard and be able to walk around, and then this way we have access to another stairwell, and then we have access to a large storage room, and then this is through here, this is another area where the dogs should sleep, and then going out this side should lead us to the backup generator around the back here. So that's just one building, and there's going to be 4 to explore, or rather I would like there to be 4 to explore, because it's the complex that I worked in, it's modelled after, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Through here should be a set of 2 smaller offices and then a large computer room which joins up with the other building that's going to be over the back here. It's crazy, but yeah, it's going to be huge in terms of like exploring, which is why I'm going to have random events firing off to help get the AI spawning in and trying to be a little bit more threatening. These corners here though are really nasty because you can't quite see around them properly because they're all right angles, so if the AI comes around here you're pretty screwed. Klaxy says, one thing I've found in good game design is if you don't want to force the players to do a task, instead motivate them. Oh yeah, I know. Just remember to not misspell tether. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the AI being dumb and getting stuck on walls and stuff, but generally you want it to navigate around well, and in the actual demo area before it was navigating well, it's just that the doors were bugging up. Anyway, I'm going to try seeing what I can fix before I show this off the next time. Hopefully I'll have more of this blocked out and have more of the other stuff done. The idea is I want to get the base gameplay mechanics back up to what they were before, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do a very basic blocky recreation of the first chapter of Bendy and the Ink Machine, which is done in the demo just to show all the mechanics working and all the additional features. It won't have any textures or anything, it'll just be like very basic blocky assets just to show off that these things actually do work in a very similar manner. And then after that's done, then I'll finish blocking out the actual level and then putting all the art assets together and modelling whatever I need at the end. But yeah, after that it's hopefully going to be done, so it's just a case of refining a lot of this stuff and getting it all sorted, but after that it's fine. So at the moment this is like pre-alpha, just like fleshing out mechanics, getting things done, making sure they work properly and make sure there are no errors. I'd say I'm almost in alpha. I just need to fix these things that are giving me problems, and then it'll be in alpha, which is just doing the designing phase, going through the levels, blocking them out like I've just said, making sure that all the AI spawns work and all the objectives work. And then once I'm through alpha, beta will just be testing, polishing things, making sure the entire thing works. And then after beta, that's it. Should be good. So I'm getting there. Almost out of pre-alpha, so it's so close at the moment. Anyway, I've got to get going. I've got to do stuff to fix this now. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you next time.